with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Molly Samora. Starting off here this morning with the FDA is hosting an advisory committee meeting to discuss Pfizer's application for COVID-19 booster shots. The advisory committee will be holding that meeting later today. Here's what to expect.
Booster shots.
The booster battle continues. Whether we'll need them depends on who you ask.
From the data that I've seen and the data that are going to evolve, that we will need a third shot as a booster.
There's actually a pretty straightforward case to be made for why we should be allowing booster shots at this time, especially for older individuals and people who are more medically vulnerable.
I'm not sure it's going to be required for everybody.
I was one of the biggest skeptics of the docs in the White House about boosters, and I've become convinced.
But has the FDA? That's what it's planning to talk about today. Specifically, Pfizer's booster that comes 6 months after the second dose. There are two key questions here. Is immunity waning and will boosters restore it? A lot of the data U.S. health experts are looking to is from Israel, which started giving boosters on July 29th. On the issue of waning immunity, their data showed the more time that passed since initial vaccination, the more likely people were to get breakthrough infections on booster effectiveness. Multiple studies, again, many from Israel, show a third dose makes breakthrough infections less likely by turbo, charging the production of antibodies. But a briefing document ahead of today's meeting makes it clear the FDA wants U.S. data, and state and local health departments want to make sure they're ready, just in case, prepping for potential rollout next week.
And if the FDA did authorize the use of a booster, the CDC would still have to determine who qualifies for one. And new this morning, security is tight around the Capitol complex in Washington this morning as preparations continue for a scheduled rally happening tomorrow. It's all in support of the people facing criminal charges for taking part in January's deadly terrorist attack in D.C. They're calling it the Justice for J6 rally. Crews have once again installed fencing around the U.S. Capitol building's perimeters ahead of the rally. Organizers say it's about protesting the ongoing criminal cases against some 600 people charged after the January 6th riot by supporters of former President Donald Trump. D.C. police said various streets will be closed and parking restrictions will be in place. And it's a guilty plea to report this morning in the case of an Erie man charged in the hazing death of a student at Ohio's Bowling Green State University last year. 21-year-old Niall Sweeney of Erie was one of the 8 people charged in the alcohol-related hazing death of sophomore Stone Foltz last March. He was facing a charge of involuntary manslaughter, but on Thursday, Sweeney pled guilty to a charge of tampering with evidence. He admitted to deleting some Snapchat posts from the night it all happened. That plea part of the deal Sweeney struck with prosecutors. He's the first of those 8 defendants to enter a plea in the case. Sweeney's now scheduled to be sentenced next February. And hospitals across Pennsylvania are feeling the extra pressure of the latest COVID surge. According to the latest numbers from the state health department, they reported more than 5,600 new cases back on Wednesday, with more than 2,300 people in PA hospitals with COVID-19. 560 in intensive care. Most hospitals in our area were about above 70% capacity for the week of September 3rd. That's word the Department of Health and Human Services. St. Vincent Hospital was at 96% capacity. And another 7th District 10 football game for the week 4 has been canceled. The Union City vs. Maplewood game was canceled because of COVID-19 issues with Union City. Homecoming festivities will still take place on the football field. However, the game is now off. This is the 17th game canceled this season in District 10 because of COVID-19 concerns. And 2 weeks after this fight in the stands led to a panic at a local high school football game, there are some schedule changes for one of the teams that was playing that night. School district leaders say tonight's Erie High football game will be the last night home game of this year for the Royals. They'll play the other 3 scheduled games on Saturday afternoons instead of Friday nights. And we're headed into another weekend of NFL football, and for the first time since 2019 season, fans will be filling the stands. That's the case in Cleveland Sunday as the Browns get set for their home opener. They're coming off a hard loss after dominating over Kansas City Chiefs last Sunday by 12 points, but then falling victims to the 2019 Super Bowl champions. Now this Sunday, they face off against the Houston Texans. The Browns are projected to win by 12.5 points, which is the largest spread in the league this morning. Baker Mayfield, the quarterback for the Browns, spoke with reporters days ago, talking excitement and what they learned from the loss to the Chiefs.
They're going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to get lined up. They're going to play hard. They're going to be about the ball, trying to get takeaways. And so we have to be, sound and doing our job and lining up and seeing what they're in and just playing hard and executing our job.
In meantime, those heading to the Steeler home opener this Sunday, a heads up, the Pittsburgh Steelers issued a reminder of their mask policy at Heinz Field. Masks will be required for all fans regardless of your vaccination status at any indoor parts of the stadium. Fans will not be required to wear masks on the concourse or at their seats. Fans will not be required to show proof of their vaccination status. And we want to bring in our Sarah Tonks. Will you be watching any football this weekend, you think?
Depends on what's on. If there's football in my vicinity that is on, I will watch it, but I don't necessarily seek it out. I think maybe Georgia Tech, my college, is playing a game. If so, I'll keep an eye on their score, but I don't even know if we're actually playing, much less who we're playing, so can't really say. But we do have some good weather for sports this weekend, and for tailgating, we're looking at, especially kind of in the evenings, lots of sunshine. Here's the Erie Bayfront for right now, Oliver's rooftop camera. We've got lots of sunshine. Things are looking lovely. There are people out enjoying the water, and it's going to really stay that pretty for most of our area throughout the next couple of hours, although we could see some isolated showers for inland regions. Doppler max right now, we're seeing partly cloudy skies, just some of those big fluffy clouds kind of into Warren County. And as we get closer to the afternoon, they're going to break apart just a little bit, but we are going to see some isolated rain showers. You can see maybe just a couple blobs of rain pushing through. For the most part, things are looking dry. Most people might not see any rain at all today. And then overnight, we do have a chance of some isolated showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder or two. Until we get into your Saturday afternoon, things are expected to dry up a little bit. Now, your severe weather outlook for tonight, we're not expecting any severe weather, but general thunderstorms are possible. And temperatures generally right now are, again, pretty comfortable. We're in the low 70s, definitely not feeling quite as fall-like as I know a lot of people are hoping for. Along the lakeshore, we're up to about 75 degrees here in Erie, 70 into Meadville and Warren, and we're all warming up considerably, especially compared to yesterday. We're almost 10 degrees warmer. This morning was a good 15 degrees warmer than yesterday morning, so it's definitely not quite feeling like fall just yet. So maybe hold off on the pumpkin spice lattes for another week because it's going to change in that 7-day outlook, I promise. Now, dew points, it is pretty humid out there. We're hanging out in that steamy range, and by the end of the day, we could get a little bit closer to oppressive. But overall, your weather impact index is all clear, so we've got lots of sunshine. It's pretty warm, and other than that inland shower or two, things are looking pretty dry as well. I'll have a look at your 7-day outlook and that slight cool down to come in just a minute.
Thanks, Sarah. And preparations are underway for the 73rd Primetime Awards. This year, the show welcomes back an in-person audience. Cedric the Entertainer is set to host the big show. Netflix The Crown is one of those shows making a huge impression this year, along with The Mandalorian from Disney+. Both tied with 24 nominations. The show gets underway live this Sunday at 8 p.m. on CBS. And no need to double check the calendar. It is September 17th today, and despite that date, you can expect a 4th of July-like fireworks show out in eastern Erie County tonight. This is what the last big public fire show looked like along Erie's Bayfront back on the 4th of July. This week, the National Fireworks Association is meeting in Erie, and they're wrapping it up tonight with a show at the Lake Erie Speedway. They're charging $20 per car to get into the Speedway, and it's expected to last about 2 hours, starting around dusk tonight. So if folks are headed out to fireworks, how's the weather going to be looking for them, Sarah?
Comfortable and summer-like. So if you head outside, you might be both confused by the fireworks and the temperature as to whether it's September or July. But it's not going to stay warm forever, which personally, my fall-loving heart is rejoicing. Now, for this weekend, we're in the upper 70s to low 80s. We could see an early shower or two Saturday, but for the most part, things are dry, a little bit warm, still a little bit muggy. And then into next week, Monday, mostly sunny. Tuesday, we're starting to see some rain showers, still in the 80s. And then Wednesday is the autumnal equinox. We are officially starting off fall. And there go those temperatures. The Wednesday's high, we're looking at about 74. And by Thursday, we're looking at like 68. Much drier, much nicer, much cooler, much better for some cozy sweaters and nice slippers, which I'm excited for.
I'm not looking forward to the colder weather, but thanks for joining us, guys, for the Erie News Nowcast. Our next news is coming up at noon on WSE. Make it a great weekend.